Alright, here we go, we're live. How's everyone doing? Scamp Animation has me mentioned that I'm a little bit late, so I must be messing up my hair, and unfortunately, yeah, it is a little bit messed up, but that's completely fine. We're not here for my hairstyling. If you were, you would be in trouble. Let's take a look at the markets. We've got a few scary things going on right here. Nothing particularly surprising. In fact, this is exactly what I mentioned would probably happen in the previous video. So before I get into all of the analysis, please let me know if the audio and everything is okay. If you can hear me fine, if you can see me fine. Before we get into this live stream, I think we've got to make it standard practice to say that these videos and live streams are going to give you the brutal realities of the market. That's what we do best. That's what we do in all of these videos, and that's why our predictions tend to work out quite well. If you get offended by this, I encourage you to take this as offensively as possible and then leave the channel. A lot of people saying things about how much they hate Elon Musk. Grow the fuck up. He's allowed to do whatever he wants, and it's not it's not something that you should be personally upset by. If you are, you're also one of the people that should leave, because it's a little bit ridiculous. I mean, we're not children. Elon Musk can do whatever the hell he likes, and while it was a little bit messed up, people saying things like Elon betrayed us, there is no us. We're traders, all right? So I just wanted to clear that up right at the beginning. Everyone living in fantasy land thinking that Elon Musk owes you something, that's not true. Anyway, let's get to this analysis. What we mentioned in the previous live stream, thank you all for telling me that this was good. How was the burger? It's amazing. America has great burgers, and that's why everyone's so unhealthy over here. I'm slipping into that direction, so I had to amp up what we're doing in the gym. Anyway, I mentioned in the last live stream, now this was pretty on point, so shout out to those of you who were in the previous live stream. It looked like I just got out of bed a moment ago. I did. I mentioned in the previous live stream that Bitcoin would probably end up forming something a little bit like a bear flag and then end up breaking down. If you were in that previous live stream, shout out to you guys. Hit up the likes and subscribe if you are new here as well. But if you were in that previous live stream, you would have heard that argument pretty on point, pretty on time as well. I mentioned to you that Bitcoin has formed many continuation patterns like this one right here before it continued to trend downwards. If we zoom in onto something like the 5-minute time frame, that's actually pretty clear. Take a look at this right here. So Bitcoin trending down a little bit, forming a small rising wedge, and then continuing to trend down, then forming quite a large rising wedge, but then again continuing to trend down, and we get a small rising wedge, a few small ones actually, but of course the trend overall moves down. Now some continuation patterns look like these staircase patterns that we see all the time in stock images. You guys hear me talking about this a lot, because this is actually what most of my analysis is based on. Like I'm really not doing anything that's particularly complex or difficult to understand. I'm just trying to do the basics quite well. Did I hear anything about Binance getting investigated? No, but that's not surprising because they're shady as fuck. That's why I don't use Binance, by the way. They're super shady. I love Bybit. I've been with them for years, and there's a sign-up link in the description. This is the exchange that I use. If you're in the US and things like that, you will require a VPN, but I can't endorse that. I'm doing it myself because I'm in the United States right now. I don't really care. But following back onto the video, this is the kind of analysis that I like to talk about because it's relatively straightforward. It's not super difficult. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel or anything. I just want to do the simplistic fundamental things very well, and that's pretty much it, because I found that if you do these basic things quite well, you tend to be in a better position in this market. So one of the continuation patterns we get are rising wedges that look a little bit like this. Another kind of continuation pattern that you get sometimes is a bear flag, and so that would look something a little bit like this, where you just kind of trade sideways in a range that narrows, and then eventually you break down. And that's what we did right here. That's what I mentioned we would probably do in the previous live stream. Once again, shout out to those of you who are a regular subscriber of this channel, because you would have watched that live stream. So if you're not a regular subscriber, if you're not subscribed or have the bell ticked, or in the Telegram channel, which is completely free from us, it's more free analysis with the first link in the description. If you're none of these three things, or not all three, you would have missed that previous live stream. And I said that exactly this would happen. And it did. This was beautiful. We had a series of rising wedges, small ones, bigger ones, medium-sized ones, and then of course bear flags. And there are many different type of continuation patterns that the market can paint, but the main two are these rising wedge patterns, the ones that look like this, and these bear flag patterns. So if you don't know what either of these are, there you go. And if you want to know a little bit more about them, then you can type this into Google, copy paste this into Google, and you can do a little bit of research on what bear flags are, and then of course rising wedge patterns as well. Very much the same thing. Rising wedge patterns or ascending channels, they mean the same thing. So check them both out. And Bitcoin did end up breaking down from this. Now, there's two big reasons right here that I outlined in the previous live stream for why I was expecting Bitcoin to break down from these things. Number one was that Bitcoin is and has been in a downtrend. Right? If Bitcoin's and actually there's three. Number one is Bitcoin is and has been in a downtrend, so the default movement in this market is downwards. Number two is that Bitcoin dumped below massive support, which leads into number three, but Bitcoin dumped below massive support, which was this blue box, and I was talking to you about that a lot. We fell below it, and that leads into number three right here, and this was probably the biggest one that I kept talking about in the previous live stream. Like, yeah, that video, that live stream was completely on point, and actually it wasn't even 24 hours ago that I did that live stream, so really, really very impressed with it. The third factor that I mentioned right here is that Bitcoin, because it's fallen below support, which is this blue box, it's now turned back into resistance. I even drew this line. I showed VIP members this area, and it obviously worked out quite well. I told VIPs that if we managed to rise up into this area and all the way up to this yellow line, it would probably be a pretty good short position for Bitcoin. And it was. So that was pretty amazing. I personally decided not to trade that short position, but I told VIP members exactly how I would be doing it. Down to the dollar I would be entering, the leverage I would be using, the stop loss I would use as well. The stop loss was somewhere around over here if I did decide to make that trade. So you can see actually that stop loss was pretty perfect, because Bitcoin went, this yellow line was actually one of my potential entry levels. I mentioned 50, no, I don't think I said 52.5. I'm not so sure. But I did tell VIPs that I'd be looking to, I can't remember what entry levels I chose, but it was somewhere, it was definitely, most of the entry levels would have been triggered in this range where I said I'd be going short. And there's only one reason really that I didn't enter that short position, which was because on the very same day, I already made a profit on Ethereum. And those of you who are inside of the VIP group, you'll know me very well by now. I'm not an overexcited trader. You know, if I've made a profit and I'm happy with it, that's great. You know, not only did I make this beautiful profit on Ethereum, but literally when Ethereum was at the all-time high yesterday, like literally at the all-time high, 4,400 USD, I told VIP members that I was considering selling Ethereum. This was 8 a.m. Miami time, so go back and check the chart. In fact, I already demonstrated that for you right here. If we take a look at this Ethereum chart, it was at this level for Ethereum that I mentioned to VIPs that I'd be selling my Ethereum, or I'm strongly considering selling my Ethereum, and then it was only hours later that I sold half of all my Ethereum before this huge drop even got this bad. And so what that means is that I made two very, very good decisions on the same day. And because of that, I didn't want to rush into the third trade. I think that's very important. This channel is just as much about analysis as it is about trades. Primarily, VIP members are the ones who see everything I do with my trades. They get all the real-time information about my trades. A lot of you guys reached out yesterday to get that discount, and we are running it today as well, exclusive for you guys watching on YouTube. And you know, so this channel is about analysis and trades. And the other side of it with trades, ladies and gents, is that whether you've made a series of very good decisions or a series of very bad decisions, if you've made a series of decisions, you can get decision fatigue. You know, those of you who are business owners, which is a lot of you, I know, not the majority, but a significant proportion, you'll know very well what happens when you're making too many decisions in a short space of time. You get decision fatigue. And I didn't necessarily feel that way, but I'm not gonna say that I feel that way, you know, like it's like a drunk person saying I can drive, you know, like of course they're gonna say that, you know what I mean? So I put these hard limits on myself, and I decided that I didn't want to trade at that point. Moving forward, whether you make good or bad decisions is not really the point. I think it's very, very important to be aware of the kind of traps that you can fall into out of, you know, euphoria and excitement and so on. I think that's very, very important. If you're not aware of it, you can fall victim to them, and that is a very, very bad place to be, in my opinion. So I wanted to give you that quick note right there on the trades. You know, what we did do, like I said, those 3 reasons. Number 1, we were in a downtrend. Number 2, we fell below support. Number 3, because we fell below support, we established resistance. That has meant that we've ended up trending a little bit lower. Now, with this movement to the downside, if we take a look at this on the 1 hour time frame, we are trading below the previous areas of support that we found. This is pretty bad. Bitcoin found a temporary floor with a couple of these wicks right here, even as recently as just a few hours ago, but we have closed below it, and we're basically in free fall. That means this, in my opinion, has to find support at the next area of support, quite frankly. I'm just not sure where that support might be. You know, I'd have to look back and see where Bitcoin might be able to find a little bit of support moving forward. And really, I mean, there's a little bit of trading that happened in this range, but for the most part, you guys have heard me saying this a lot. For the most part, there's just not a lot going for Bitcoin in this range. I just don't see Bitcoin finding a whole lot of support in this range right here, purely because it, well, I mean, the only history Bitcoin ever established in this price range between 42,000 and 47,000, it only lasted, you know, like 10 days. You know, Bitcoin just has not traded for much time in this price range. And if that's the case, you know, I have to start wondering, well, you know, if we don't really establish much resistance or support on the way up, are we going to find much support on the way down? You know, and I don't think that's the case, which is why I've been so vocal about how if Bitcoin did fall below 50K, we're probably going all the way down to the low $40,000 range. And that happened nearly the first time I said, right? The first time I said this was over here, I was targeting 42 and Bitcoin bounced at 43. So that was pretty good. That was within a $1,000 accuracy. Over here, I said the same thing and I turned out to be wrong about that. We actually bounced up fairly quickly. And now I'm saying the same thing again. The thing is, you know, there's not much of a floor here, you know, in my opinion. You know, going off my analysis, I don't really think that there's a lot in terms of support for Bitcoin in the first place. And so the fact that Bitcoin has now tested it a few times and is testing it again, that's not good. You know, I don't think that's a good thing, because it's not like this price range was particularly strong for Bitcoin in the first place. You know, it already has been treading on thin ice. And that, yeah, it just doesn't sit right with me. It just doesn't sit right with me. I've got to be honest with you. I feel like there's not much left for Bitcoin here. And the more we keep on teasing this area, which we're doing right now, the worse it's probably going to get, just with my analysis right there. You know, it's worth noting, I got to keep on dropping this caveat that I'm still long-term bullish in this market. I still fully expect we're going to hit all-time highs and things like that. But right now, what this trend is telling me as a short-term analyst and a short-term trader is that this is pretty bearish and this is pretty bad. And that's why I put out that information about how I was strongly considering opening a short position on Bitcoin in this range. It would have been a profit by now, not a massive profit, but still a profit nonetheless, probably something around, at the moment, this was actually, that would be pretty good. That's a 6% drop, and I would have traded it on 5 times leverage. So that would be a 30% profit right now, which is pretty damn good. You know, but I'm not bitter about having not traded it at all. And I mentioned to you why a little bit earlier, because I already made a few really good decisions with Ethereum. On a day where everyone was losing money, I already gained a little bit with Ethereum as well. I actually had another trade that got stopped out for a smaller loss, but that's completely fine because it was an altcoin and I already trade, well, Ethereum's an altcoin too, but it was Cardano, a much smaller altcoin, and so I traded much smaller quantities in them and things like that. You know, so overall it was a pretty good day. I sold my Ethereum, you know, pretty much right at the top, and I just didn't want to rush into making more decisions after I felt so good about the market. Once again, VIPs can see exactly how I'm doing that in real time. They'll get all the information about every trade I'm making and every trade I'm considering and the reasoning behind why I considered it but then didn't commit, or considered it and then committed. They'll get all of that right there inside of VIP by following these steps on screen. I am going to go through your questions in just a minute. You can start dropping them in the comments now, in the live chat now. I want to stick to technicals for a while. Top best channel analysis. Thank you, analyst. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Is $100,000 off the table now? Absolutely not, in my opinion. I think Bitcoin is still very much, very likely to hit 100,000 eventually. Don't know how long it's going to be. In truth, in all honesty, Bitcoin is not in a terrible place. You know, in the short term, it's pretty shit. Long term, this is, my God, it's beautiful. This chart is so good. You know, long term, at the end of the day, ladies and gents, we need to zoom out a little bit. I think people are kind of losing focus of this. Bitcoin hit an all-time high at 65. Yeah, it's been a little bit weak since then, but for the most part, we've held above 40. You know, not for the most part, literally, we've held above 40 since we broke above it. You know, I mean, this is pretty healthy. We're just consolidating at an all-time high range for the most part. We can drop as low as 40. In fact, as I said, we can drop as low as 38. That's still my final support for Bitcoin. We can drop as low as 38, and I'm still going to be super bullish on Bitcoin. You know, like long term, I'm still going to think that we got a lot more to rise. You know, we're probably going to double this all-time high. I think it's super possible. You know, so that's my take there. And you know, the reason I feel so strongly about this is because, you know, these markets, they work in polarizations. You know, it's going to be polarized to the upside or polarized to the downside, but nothing in between. And so, you know, it's going to flip bullish eventually. And someone asked me, well, you know, Elon Musk news is what made it flip bearish right here. What is going to make it flip bullish? You know, there's always a lot of background reasons for that. Someone got a little bit angry at me in the last video because I mentioned the US dollar. It was a big reason Bitcoin will rise, but I didn't say that again yesterday. The thing is, there's always a lot of background reasons that will explain why Bitcoin should either rise or fall. You know, for falling, it could be regulations, it could be pollution, it could be anything, you know, like it doesn't matter. But for rising, it's a little bit easier. You know, it's adoption, it's political interest across the world, it's my God, I don't know. I mean, it's not trusting banks, which is still kind of political. You know, it could be companies adopting Bitcoin. Any number of reasons. It could be the US dollar crashing. Any number of reasons in the background will elevate something. You know, it's not like, you know, World War II started for no reason or just started for one reason. You know, like these big things, they happen for big reasons and a lot of reasons. But there's always one that sets it off, you know. So I can't remember if it was World War I or World War II, but it started off just because one dude got shot in Austria. I think it was in Austria. Someone in the comments can correct me. One dude got shot in Austria, and that's what set it off. But there was already all the underlying tension before that world war started. Kind of the same for Bitcoin. You know, there's always going to be those underlying reasons for this thing to tank or pump, and usually in a bull market, just to pump is the main one. But there's going to be one thing that sets it off, and next time it could be, you know, Russia passing a new law that legalizes Bitcoin. Next time it could be China lifting the ban on Bitcoin. Next time it could be, you know, Elon Musk instead saying, no, I changed my mind, Bitcoin is sustainable again. You know, it could be anything, and it's very difficult to predict. But when it does happen, we're going to start to get really big candles to the upside. And you know, one of the big ideas that I kept hitting on in the previous live stream, ladies and gents, was that Bitcoin really needs something right here. And I'm going to get to the technicals in just a second about, you know, how low Bitcoin can go, if it can go lower and so on. I'll get to that in just a bit, but bear with me. What I was talking about in the previous live stream was that Bitcoin, you know, it needs the excitement to rally up. You know, right now people are only in Bitcoin, only in crypto. Not right now, but for the longest time, for years, people have only been in this market to speculate. You know, primarily been here to speculate, to make money. And as soon as that dream of making money starts to be taken away from you, people sell their assets very quickly, because other than making money, they have no reason to buy these assets. That's why when you look at things like Doge, which is an absolute abomination, look at this, down to 38 cents again. You know, when you look at things like Doge, you know, that's why they drop so quickly. You know, Doge peaked at nearly 75 cents, you know, and it's trading on this chart minus 48%. And on the Binance chart, we're actually peaked a little bit higher. You know, it's fallen by, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong chart here. From the high to the low, it's dropped down by minus 53%, you know? So these kind of assets, they're bought up only with the dream of making more money, but as soon as that dream gets taken away from you, people leave this market very quickly. But on the flip side, as soon as that dream is given back to the masses, as soon as that dream is given back to people, i.e. by seeing headlines of, you know, teenage Doge millionaires or teenage Bitcoin millionaires, you know, it starts to look very sexy again, so people want to speculate and people want to dump their money in these markets. you know, it's very, very misleading, and it really pumps a lot of people into those kind of spaces, and that's, I think, where we start getting the really, really big moves to the upside. And when that happens, we're not even going to remember the bad times. It's not even going to happen. You know, people will only be excited about what's to come. So that's a long-winded answer to your question, but yes, I think $100,000 is still on the cards. Let's get back to the normal Bitcoin analysis, though, talk about where we might go. Thank you all for tuning in, by the way. Over 1,000 viewers. If you are enjoying this live stream so far, if you're finding it useful, please do hit up those likes if you do appreciate these streams. If it's your first time here, then make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on this content. And taking it back to what I mentioned already, you know, we go back a little bit. We set some lows around this range. We look at the 1 hour time frame, and we set some more temporary lows around the $48,500 level. We've now slipped below it for a second time. The first time was over here. The second time is now. Usually the second time where you fall below a low, the second time is usually that nail in the coffin that's going to take you much, much lower. That's usually what happens. I think there's a very, very strong chance that that's what we're looking at right now as well. I would be surprised if Bitcoin was able to recover back up. I would welcome it, but I would be surprised. The more Bitcoin can move back up, the better. It's just going to be healthier and easier to trade, so that's certainly a good thing in my opinion. But I do think that Bitcoin does look poised to drop a little bit more right now, and if that is the case, ladies and gents, then I certainly think that that Bitcoin is going to have to find some more support lower. And I think we really got lucky previously by bouncing off only the $47,000 area before, by bouncing off the $43,000 area. I think that there's a good chance Bitcoin can actually drop lower, and actually the only real thing that I'm seeing could save Bitcoin from doing that is bouncing off the 21-week moving average. So let's take a look at that on this chart right here. And actually, we're right at the 21-week moving average right now. So that's awkward. You know, I was going to say that Bitcoin could probably come down a little bit lower, but the fact that it's already at this 21-week moving average, you know, we really don't want to see Bitcoin dropping below this. We really don't. And it's worth noting that usually in bull markets, it doesn't drop below this level. If we take a look at this on a logarithmic, that's very difficult to say. How do I say it? Log scale. It just says log scale on TradingView. But if we take a look at it on this scale, when the market is in a bull market, we don't really fall below it too much. You know, we might wick below it, and that's completely fine, but we're not closing below the 21-week moving average. And you know, Bitcoin is actually finding a lot of support there. When the market becomes bearish, we're using it to find resistance. It's, you know, the market rises up into the line, gets rejected, rises up into the line, gets rejected, and so on until it really, really crashes. So, you know, that's what I'm seeing here again. I think at worst, we've got 3 days left, so maybe we wick down a little bit and then recover up. I don't really know. It's difficult to say. I don't want to speculate too much on that because I'm not really a long-term analyst anyway. I wouldn't be doing a good job of analyzing that kind of time frame and that kind of moving average. If those are things that you're interested in, then there are people out there who will give you much better analysis on these kind of indicators, like Tone Vase. His name is spelled like this. He's one of my trading role models, actually, so do check him out if you like my stuff. You're gonna love his. Also Crypto Kirby, I'm not sure if he's talking about this, but he is another analyst that I really like. These are the only two analysts that I still respect in this space, so do check them out. They're extremely reputable. If you like my stuff, you'll like their stuff as well, and I learned a lot from both of these guys, so they're both on YouTube. You can check them out. But I don't know if Kirby is talking about it. I don't watch his stuff anymore. Just Tone Vase that I watch occasionally. So, you know, I do think that there is some potential for Bitcoin to find support of that 21-week moving average. But what I'm seeing from a shorter term horizon right now is that we do need to establish some support at a lower level and then potentially continue trading higher. There is some scope for finding support in this range, but it's not particularly great. You know, we do have the one-day Ichimoku Cloud, which is pretty good. It's quite a fat cloud. You know, there's a lot of support going for Bitcoin right here, so it would not be particularly surprising to find some support here. Maybe we dip all the way down to, say, 43 again, and then get a bounce up. That would be a nice double bottom. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's possible. You know, you can't rule it out. Getting a little... How do I draw a straight line? I can't. Okay, never mind. But getting a little double bottom off these kind of levels, that would be pretty nice off the Ichimoku red line. Again, though, it's quite difficult to say. You know, I'm not entirely sure. I do certainly think that 42 would be a strong area of support for Bitcoin if it managed to fall down there. I think it would be very healthy as well. If Bitcoin managed to fall down to 38, that for me would be the final straw. That would be the worst case scenario for Bitcoin, in my opinion. I would only expect that we fall down to 42, potentially wick down to 38 for literally an hour, no longer, very short time, and then immediately bounce back up. If we do not immediately bounce back up from this level, then the market, in my opinion, is fucked. Anything above 38, I think we're still in pretty good territory. Anything above 42, sorry, I think we're in good territory. Below 42, but above 38, I think we're still okay. And below 38, I think it's pretty bad. So that's what I'm looking at as my worst case scenarios. There's still scope for finding resistance. I'm sorry, finding support right here, though. It's still possible. There's not many indicators that agree with this. You know, the 1-day EMA ribbon, completely bearish for Bitcoin right now. You know, the 1 week, the 21-week moving average and the Ichimoku Cloud are the only two reputable indicators that I see providing some support for Bitcoin right now. And that, again, it does make it difficult, you know, because from this short-term time frame perspective, you know, what I mentioned in the title is that we are looking at a potentially quite scary pattern right here, quite a scary chart. Certainly not as bad as it looks like, because overall we are just at the bottom of the support range, but for the most part, you know, what we need to keep in mind for this short-term sign right here is that we did get rejected off a previous area of support, now acting as resistance, and we've swung below a previous low as well. So as far as bad signs go, we're displaying all of them. It's just that when you zoom out, it's not actually that bad. Even if we do drop, it's still not actually that bad. I'm only expecting support bounces at these lower kind of levels. So I think that's extremely important to keep in mind. This range has been very hot to trade. Like I said, I was in an Ethereum trade. I'm also trading Bitcoin. I'm glad that my long position on Bitcoin did not open, because I had a long position open just above this resistance. The whole idea behind this trade was that if the market got a crash like this, I would not be in a long position. So it worked out very well. That's exactly what I was going for. And if you do want to see where I'm trading these markets, then it's on Bybit. So if you're new to the market, or you're on an exchange like Binance, God forbid, and you need an alternative, which you definitely do if you're on something like Binance, then Bybit is the one that I'm using. It's linked in the description down below, and they're running a huge promotion right now. I think it's only for this month, so you don't have long left, where they're going to be giving you up to $1,600 US, $1,600 free, depending on how much you deposit when you follow that sign up link in the description down below. So if you want to gain an extra, you know, $1,000 plus to trade with for basically nothing, all you need to do is deposit your funds onto the exchange. You can withdraw them the next day, completely fine. You're going to keep those funds. You can trade with them. Any profits you make with them, you can withdraw, and I think that is very appealing. You can just use those free, you can just use that free money to learn what the buttons on the exchange do, because what I've also done in the description of this very live stream is I've dropped a tutorial for Bybit where you can actually watch me running you through everything you need to do. So it's worth pausing the live stream right now if you haven't done that yet, because that bonus is so big, but it's time limited. It's worth pausing the live stream, watching that tutorial, signing up with the link in this video, only this video. The other videos, they don't have the correct link. Just this video has that $1,600 bonus, and you can benefit from that. Now, if you are in the United States and other territories like that, you are going to need a VPN. I do it myself. Everyone I know does it as well. Never heard of a problem, but of course I cannot endorse that. And if you do want to see how I'm trading, then I mean, we've been killing it inside of VIP. It's been going so well. I've got to actually show you something else right here, which was a post that we put in for Flies Gold just today. Very impressive indeed. Take a look at this. Bear with me. Right here, if we bring back the screen, yesterday was a fun day. First, I told VIP members I was selling 50% of my long-term Ethereum holdings right before the dump. That was this post that I showed you right here. You can pause the video, pause the live stream and read it. And then shortly afterwards, I also ripped a quick 35% profit on Ethereum. This was a trade that I actually had planned out days ago. I think I planned this trade, like I set the orders for this trade, I don't know, maybe on the 9th or 10th of May. So literally days ago. People always ask me, you're in, you're in the United States, you're in London, you're in Dubai or whatever. What about time zones? The thing is, like, time zones don't matter because I plan my trades out well in advance. I travel a lot and I plan my trades out well in advance. And so these things never really matter because I'm not that much of a short-term trader. So this trade was planned a long time ago. I had the order set. I didn't even know that the position opened when it opened. Someone else had to tell me. And I immediately saw I was in 35% profit. So right here, I told VIP members that this price action is way too dangerous. So I've just decided to close it all for a very easy 35% gain right there, as you're seeing on screen, 35% profit during the dump before closing my position early because the price action was too dangerous. Then I told members that I'd be lining up another Bitcoin short, and that's the position I spoke about a little bit later. And then I ate a burger because that's how relaxed I was with this market price action. That's how much this doesn't phase me. With this market, a lot of people were losing their shit. Oh my God, Bitcoin's down $10,000. I'm sitting there eating a fucking burger, not giving a shit. That's how real traders live, because I'm surrounded by a lot of real traders because I consider myself to be one, and real traders who actually do well in this market, they really don't care. They're quite detached. They're spending time with their loved ones, with their family, with their friends. They're doing crazy stuff, whatever. It doesn't really matter. What they're not doing is sitting at the laptop all the time, and they're not doing that because they're rich or successful. They're not doing that because they don't need to, because they already have plans that were set from a long time ago, and they only need to adjust them and execute on them. Like I said, this channel is about analysis just as much as it is about trading. And when everyone is panicking, but precision and discipline means we're the only people, everyone's panicking right now, but precision and discipline means that we're the only people in the market right now who are still smiling, and that's how you win. This is the thing that I like to communicate on this channel. People will panic, and if you're positioned well before that, you stand to make a lot of money. People will feel excited, and if you're positioned well before that, you stand to make a lot of money. If you're not aware of these things in between, you're going to be in trouble, and I think that's very, very important. So we've been doing amazingly. Take a look at some of these, results we've seen just from earlier this month. This person making 2,000 very, very shortly after joining VIP, just within the first day, paying off the fee for entry. Another one right here. This person mentioned that he's enjoying the content a lot, making back their VIP investment and then some. And this person wishing that he bought at 4 a.m. instead of 7. I think this person's talking about either a trade or joining VIP earlier. We've seen amazing results across the board. 109% profit. This is what I showed you just yesterday as well. I mean, it's been going so well inside the group with over 1,100 members. So the steps are on screen for you to join if you want to get a piece of that action. You want to see all of it when these people are. Like I said, we're over 1,100 members. It's been growing exponentially. It's absolutely huge. And if you want to get in on what's going on right there, then the steps are on screen for you to take action and maybe do something quite nice for yourself. We are running a special discount right now. So I want to go back to some of your questions right now before I carry on with the core analysis. If you haven't dropped your questions in the chat yet, then please do that right now, and I'm going to start going through your questions. As usual, make sure that you write my YouTube name on in your comment, otherwise I will not read it. So please do that, otherwise I will miss your question. Let's see, so we got a little bit of spam in the comments. I'm very sorry about that. I will block the I'll block the spammers. Do I think Bitcoin would hit an all-time high in the next 3 months? 100%. Yeah, well, not 100%, but 99%. I think it's super likely. I think it's very likely that Bitcoin can hit a new all-time high in 3 months. It's Israel's fault. If anything, the conflict between Israel and Palestine, I thought, would empower Bitcoin. But it really shows you guys, this is a big deal, and I'm going to get a lot of hate for saying this, but it really shows you that people are not buying Bitcoin because it's great as a political alternative or something like that. People are buying Bitcoin to speculate. Conflicts like what's happening in Israel or whatever else, these would empower the use case for Bitcoin. You know, I would believe, and actually instead people are just selling Bitcoin because Elon Musk is not accepting it for Teslas anymore. And that just shows you the level of speculation in this market. You know, most people who are buying Bitcoin are not buying it because they agree with it or anything like that. They're just buying it for their own speculative greed reasons, which is completely fine. But the point is, you need to be aware of that. You know, a lot of the time, people will fall into the trap of justifying why they're in a losing position. You know, this happens a lot, like with Stockholm Syndrome, for example. You're kidnapped by somebody, so you're trying to come to terms with it. So you tell yourself all the reasons that your kidnapper is a nice person, and then you kind of fall in love with them. And that's what's happening with Bitcoin holders or crypto holders. Otherwise, just people who are underwater with bags. You know, so a lot of people are going to be like that with Doge right now, holding an unnecessarily large amount of Doge because they thought it would go to the sky and they didn't manage to sell it at break even or better. So now they're just kind of stuck with the bag, and they start telling themselves all these reasons that Doge will go back up, that Bitcoin will go back up. And this is where you start slipping into gambling mindsets, and desperation gets a little bit worse and so on. It's a really bad spiral. I've been in it many times, and that's why I talk about it with a lot of accuracy, because I'm talking from experience, a lot of experience. And when you get things like that, yeah, you're in a very, very dangerous place. I mean, you're in a space where, you know, you got to keep on justifying what you're doing to yourself, and it's just it's a recipe for disaster, for lack of a better word. But you know, we take it back to what's happening with the conflicts around the world, and that's going to tell you a little something about, you know, what people are buying for, and you've got to be aware of it. You've got to be aware of it, because that's what's going to allow you to position yourself to trade well in these markets, and I think that's very, very important. So let's see what else we got here. I hit the like. Thank you very much, Winston. Really, really appreciate that. If you're enjoying these live streams, if you're finding this useful so far or informative at all, then please do hit up those likes and subscribe if you're new to the YouTube channel. Of course, it's going to help you out and help me, so thank you all very much for doing that. Let's see what other questions we have right here. For flies that bounced off the Head and Shoulders neckline. Oh, I don't see the Head and Shoulders neckline. If this is the Head and Shoulders you're talking about, it's a pretty bad Head and Shoulders. I think this person is talking about this. That's a pretty bad Head and Shoulders. I don't think that's a Head and Shoulders. Oh, on the hourly. Let's take a look at that. No, there's definitely no Head and Shoulders I see on the hourly as well. It's a pretty bad chart, you know, it's pretty weak. If this is the thing, like, it's rising up again. It already got rejected from this level once. If we're rising up to test it again and we get rejected a second time, you know, like on the 5-hour time frame, I'm sorry, 5-minute time frame, take a look at this. If I remove this line and instead I put a line, in fact a box, like right around here, this was the previous area of support, could be ready to turn into resistance. You know, we already got rejected off this level. Fuck me, wow, more than once. Number 1 was here, number 2 was here, and number 3 we might be doing right now. So, you know, if we keep on getting rejected off levels like this thing can definitely dump way lower. You know, so I don't know. I mean, Head and Shoulders patterns are bearish, but I don't see a Head and Shoulders, but it still looks terrible to me. It looks very weak on a short time frame. Crown is very reputable. Yeah, I've never watched Crypto Crown, but I've heard very good things about him. Countries are banning Bitcoin every 3 months. Yeah, and it's all obviously market manipulation. When in doubt, just zoom out the chart. Yeah, because it's not, you know, I mean, we are going to get crashes, obviously, but for the most part, we're in a pretty healthy trend. I mean, we're not in a healthy trend, but we're in a very good trend. So, you know, I think that's important to keep in mind. Quant Fury is much better. They're absolutely terrible. Don't touch them. I got burnt on their exchange. I went long on Tesla at $180, which now after the stock split was $36. It was a massive position. In fact, it was the largest position size you could possibly do on Quant Fury, which was only, I think, $5,000. So it wasn't even that big. And like, obviously that's a big position size, but you know, in the trading world, that's super small. And the profit, as you can imagine, because I bought at $36. I mean, what is Tesla at right now? And this was a trade that I told VIPs about, by the way. So, you know, VIP is not just me trading crypto. I also occasionally trade other markets, and one of them was Tesla. So now it's at 570, you know, so that trade was huge. I bought at 36. They shut down my account shortly afterwards. So exchanges will do that. And that's the thing, like when I find one exchange that I really like, which in this case, I've been talking to you about Bybit a lot. When I find one exchange I really like, I'm sticking with them for a long time. And the thing is, you know, one of the things that makes this really useful is if you have direct access to somebody on the team, like I do, and then if you have access to me, like you do, by following these steps on screen right now, that puts you in a very powerful position to then, if you ever have a problem, come to me, and I will escalate your problem with my contacts at Bybit and see if I can help you. You know, and in the past, I've done things like that with exchanges that I partnered with. So obviously, I work with Bybit for promotions, and that also means that if any of you guys, my viewers, have a problem with them, and you've signed up with my referral link, I will do my best to make sure that we can solve your issue and we can escalate it and get it seen by the right people. That's quite powerful. You know, when you're trading with anything more than a few $1,000s, you're going to want to know that you have that kind of protection. So while it might not be the best exchange in the world, to me, you know, I've been with them for a long time and I trust them. You know, it's so much that I've partnered with them. Even it's not a partnership, but I promote them, and I think they're well worth checking out. So they're linked in the description, and you're going to be getting a $1,600 trading bonus depending on how much you deposit. That means if you deposit a certain amount of money, you're going to get $1,600 extra deposited into your account just as a welcome bonus, and you can use that to trade, and you can withdraw any of the profits you make on that cash. You will need a VPN if you're connecting from places like the United States, and I can't endorse that, but I'm in Florida right now, and I'm doing exactly the same thing. So check it out. Do I prefer this over Phemex? Phemex is great. I also was working with them. I really like Phemex for a few of their unique selling points that Bybit does not have. But liquidity is better on Bybit. You know, like their Bitcoin pair right here itself is more than double what Phemex was averaging. Just Bitcoin. You know, so liquidity is important, and I think that's one area where they kind of were falling behind. And one of the key benefits that Phemex has over over Bybit is that Phemex offers a lot more pairs than this on leverage, but Bybit is offering a lot more new ones too. In fact, Bybit is offering Doge, I think, in like 10 days. You can trade Doge on leverage. I don't know why you would want to do that, although I have to admit I was considering it, and so that's why I really do like Doge. I'm sorry, Bybit. So there you go. Is it okay for UK? You'll also need a VPN from the United Kingdom, and you shouldn't use a UK number. I know I probably have no interest in altcoins. You're correct, so I won't look at VeChain, sorry. Great time to look for an entry into other tokens also. Absolutely, we'll take a look at Cardano and the like in a minute. Maybe even Link. Doge equals shit. Of course it is. It's pretty bad. What deal am I running, Paul? If you want to get the information on the VIP discount that we're offering right now, you can follow these steps on screen. This will take you less than 30 seconds. So I know it might seem a little bit inconvenient to you, but this is the way to get the information, and my assistants are online right now anyway. So you'll get your responses very quickly. You know, a lot of you guys who reached out during this live stream, you've already had your responses, I think. Let's see what other questions we have here. Do I think Bitcoin will hit an all-time high in 3 months? Already answered that. Where is Cardano going to? I would check that out in a minute. Is this the end of Bitcoin? No. May I ask what price you're going to short until? So I'm not in a short position right now, but if I was trading something bearish on Bitcoin right now, I would not short beyond $42,000 or $43,000. I think that's where support is going to get very, very strong for Bitcoin. 38, I think, is a massive bounce zone. So actually, I'm only looking at buying Bitcoin in these areas. Not to say that I will actually buy, because I don't want to, but if it falls down here, that's the only thing I consider doing. I'd only consider going long on Bitcoin at those kind of price ranges. Guys, I also want to interrupt this video real quick and mention that if you're new to this channel and any of this doesn't make sense, then please click on my profile picture for this video, and then go to the videos tab on my channel and find this video right here, how to turn $1,000 into 1 million Bitcoin trading ultimate in-depth guide. This is a 50-minute video, one of the best videos I ever made, where I'm breaking down each of these concepts for you, as a beginner. So this is going to give you everything you need to understand these kind of videos. It's going to give you a great starting point, made by me, one of the best videos I made in terms of production quality and things like that. So please check it out. You're going to find it very, very useful if you are new to this game. So I think that's quite important, and I wanted to interrupt for just a minute for those of you who haven't had a chance to watch that video yet. What's my first buying point for Ethereum? Nowhere right now. Ethereum is way too high. I'd only consider buying Ethereum at like $1,400, $1,500. So we're nowhere near a decent buy zone for Ethereum, in my opinion. If you're talking about going long, I might go long off a level like 3.2, 3.3. Although I don't know. I have to wait and see. Firefly's only Bybit now, no more Femex. I mean, they're both running and they're still both great, but Bybit is at the moment my main exchange for sure. See what else we have here in the comments. People are speculating that what Elon meant with crypto that uses less than 1% of Bitcoin's energy, he meant bcash. Thoughts, please? Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying, mate. Elon Musk might be talking about going to Bitcoin Cash. If he does, I will sell my Tesla, which would be heartbreaking because it's beautiful and I really, really like it. And actually, I wanted to pull up a picture of it. It's too inconvenient for me to show you a picture right now, but I actually have my Tesla wrapped in a beautiful, beautiful color. Anyway, you guys don't need to see it, but because it's not relevant. But I do love Tesla, but of course, if he's going to switch to bcash, then I'll have to start hating him. So, I mean, me hating him isn't really his problem, but it is my problem. So I'm going to be quite upset. It could mean that he's going to switch to bcash. Would be very, very disappointing. I don't want to comment on that. I'm just hoping that he won't do it. Forflies, on a leveraged trade, do you lose money as soon as the price starts dropping? Well, it depends. If you're buying Bitcoin, then yes. If you're selling Bitcoin, then no, you actually make money. It's the same as a normal trade. It's just whatever loss you have is multiplied and whatever gain you have is multiplied by the same number. So if you chose 5 times leverage, your loss is multiplied by 5 times, your gain is multiplied by 5 times. Did I short? No. Forflies, clear head and shoulder on the net. I'm not looking at this head and shoulders. I can't see it. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I don't see it. Guys, if you have questions about VIP, please send them over through here. And a lot of you have been interested in phone calls with a member of the team or even myself. If you'd like to have a phone call with a member of our team and find out if you'd be a good fit for Forflies VIP, you can also request that by following these steps on screen. So let's just literally type, can I speak to somebody on the team, like with a phone call, and we'll set that up. We do them, like nearly daily. So and I drop into them personally as much as I can. Quite a few of them I do drop into. So you just kind of let me know what you're looking for, and we can set something up for sure. Let's see what other questions we have. Thoughts on USDT? Do I think they truly are backed? I have no idea. Honestly, I have no idea. I don't use it. My own GAF in Florida? What does GAF mean? Thoughts on XRP? Shit. Cardano to $15. That's a little bit bloody ambitious, isn't it? $15, my god. Well, maybe. I don't know. Certainly could. $15 is a little bit ambitious. I'm wondering if you have an understanding of supply, circulating supply and things like that in this market. Cardano looks good, like it's in a bull flag right now. It's just the whole market is in such a shit space that, if it's rising like this, I'm a little bit worried, like I'm kind of concerned. I mean, clearly that means it's performing very well. Against Bitcoin, it's up by fucking 23%, which is huge. It's about to face that big area of resistance that I outlined on my chart a long time ago. I mean, it could do very well. I don't know about $15. We're quite far away from that. It needs to do nearly a 10 times gain, a 9 times gain from here. But certainly possible. Anything's possible. 8 times gain, I think, from here. It's in a bull flag right now. So if it does end up kind of, trading a little bit more and then moving up, that would be beautiful. Really, I don't know. Very hard to say. I really don't know. I wish I could give you something a little bit more concrete than that, but I can't, so sorry. Let's see what other questions we have. over here. And it's just, you know, I wouldn't want to touch it. I wouldn't want to touch it, you know. So the trade I mentioned is I did go long on Cardano as well, but I closed it in a small loss just this morning because I wasn't comfortable trading it right now, you know. And it was quite a small loss because it's an altcoin. So, you know, with altcoins I trade with quite small amounts compared to Bitcoin or Ethereum. Ethereum's still technically an altcoin, but it's a major. And so, you know, when things look a little bit awkward, I'm not comfortable dabbling in the altcoin market at the same time. Let's see what else we have here. Thanks for answering my question. You're very welcome. I've been going through your old videos, man. You were so young. That's young. That said, they are amazingly informative for a newbie. Well, thank you very much. I'm glad that you're enjoying them as someone new to the market. Yeah, I started out this channel. This channel is nearly 10 years old. It's going to be 10 years old next month, which makes me feel old. Because 10 years, my God, on this channel is a long time. Don't go back and watch my old videos because they're embarrassing. I'm never going to delete them, but they're very embarrassing. You want to see the Tesla? I might bring it up for a future video, but I can't show it to you right now because the picture's on my phone. Is there any specific reason for using Coinbase charts for your analysis instead of the Bybit ones? Bybit charts are subject to what's the word? I forgot the word. They just move in more extreme ways. Because it's a leverage exchange, everything is a little bit more extreme. It wicks a little bit harder. Coinbase is a spot exchange. Binance, most of the time, is a spot exchange, which means it's real price action. It's not derivatives. And that usually means that they're a little bit healthier and easier to analyze. Guys, I'm going to take a couple final questions and then probably head off for the rest of this live stream. I hope you have enjoyed it so far. If you have, then please do hit up those likes. I'm not sure where we're at right now. I can't actually tell, but if you have been enjoying this content, then I would really, really appreciate that. We're live for nearly an hour, so if you found anything here informative or useful, then that would be absolutely great. Let's get it up to 500 and then 1,000 likes. I know we can do that fairly easily. If you're new to the channel as well, do make sure to subscribe. This content is fire. It's real. It's very, very important to be consuming this kind of information when things are so hot. You know, you don't want to be just looking for information that's going to brush your ego and make you very, very happy. You know, I think it's absolutely crucial to also make sure that you are tapping into what's real in this market, and you know it's real if it upsets you a little bit. You know, that's one of the criteria for being real, in my opinion. So, gonna take a look at a couple more questions and then head off for this live stream. You thought I was a Londoner? A gaff is a house, flat, or caravan. I've never heard of gaff. I am a Londoner, or I was. Never heard of gaff. I'm not sure if... I don't know if you're a Londoner or you heard that in a movie or something. I've never heard that. 389 likes and counting. Yeah, come on, we can get this up to 500. Not too much. Am I going for another burger? No. I'm kicking all the... what do I call it? I'm going to stop being a dopamine junkie out here in the States. It's very difficult. But I'm being a little bit healthier now. I say that I had a fucking quesadilla today, so I'm not being particularly healthy. But, you know, at least the gym's back. Dude, my hair is awesome. Thank you very much. I don't put a lot of help into a lot of effort into it, but thank you. Tom's got a brake caliper that's older than me. Oh man, that's awkward. I feel like a lot of people on this live stream might have something like that. Oh, a few of you have brake calipers older than me. My God. Okay, that's awkward. Why are you guys all saying that your cars are older than me? This is awkward now. A 5x to 8x gain on Cardano is more realistic. Solid advice as always. It's not advice, but thank you very much. Glad you're liking it. Let's see what other questions we have here before I do head off. If you have any burning questions that I have not answered yet, then please repeat them now. Otherwise, because I might have missed them. Where in London? I can't say. Any books I'd recommend? The books that I like about trading are down in the description, so you can check that out. BNB, yeah, let's take a look at BNB. It's been a little while. Let's take a look at Binance token. By the way, Swissborg token, it was a little bit lower when I started this live stream. It's fallen down to great buy levels. You know, like down here, these are great buy levels for Swissborg token. Just wanted to put that out there. If I had more of an allocation to put into Swissborg, I would be buying at those kind of levels for sure. For sure, that's an easy decision. Let's take a look at Binance Coin against the dollar. This is fine. Oh, it fell below crucial support. That's bad. I mean, what's it saying here? I mean, I don't really... Let me see where support is. 4-hour time frame, we fell below the Ichimoku. 1 day, there's still some support there. 1 hour, have a little bit of resistance. Switch it back to the 4-hour, turn off the Ichi, and turn on the VPVR. And we can see a little bit more support at $520, a little bit more down at $470. Big support really down at the 250 range. I think if Binance token managed to fall below 500, it's probably falling all the way down to 250, 300. Actually, I said this in the previous Binance Coin analysis that I made on YouTube as well. For the most part, it did fail its uptrend. That was a shame. I certainly think that yeah, it's going to have a little bit of resistance up here. If it manages to climb above, we're looking at, you know, like $1,200 or something crazy. Bitcoin seeing a little bit of a pump. My eyes are going to be on this level. If Bitcoin can overcome this level, good. I still think it's weak, but if it can, it's a good start. If, however, it gets rejected from this level, then I'm pretty much going to say goodbye to Bitcoin for a little bit. I think that it's definitely going to be falling to some pretty disastrous levels. So there we go. That's my analysis rounded up. I hope you have enjoyed this live stream. If you have, do make sure to hit up those likes one final time. Subscribe one final time as well to make sure that you don't miss out on this content if you've enjoyed it. 434 likes. Thank you all very much. We're very close to 500. Let's pump it up there. Do I have any basic TA videos on my channel? Not really, but I mentioned if you go on my channel and you find this video from 2 weeks ago, how to turn 1,000 into 1 million, this video is all for people who are new to the market. So when you watch this video, live streams like today's live stream are going to make a lot more sense. So definitely check this video out. This is made for absolute beginners. It's 50 minutes long, one of the best videos I ever made. You have to check it out. Very, very important to check out. Once again, if you're looking for a place to trade, then Bybit is running a very limited time offer. If you already have an account, you can still use this if you make a new one. If you're on a different exchange, you can use this, and you should, because you need a backup. You know, whether you use my link or you use a completely different exchange is not the point. But if you're only on one exchange, you need a backup. You're just being irresponsible with your money if you're not having a backup in place, because exchanges have shit happen to them all the time. And if you're not prepared for it, like I even have backups for Bybit. You know, like something can happen at any point, and if your money's locked there and you've lost all your trading money just because you weren't prepared, you've not been respecting your money properly. And the best time to do this was yesterday. So if you're still sitting on your hands waiting for a miracle to happen, then here you go. Because with the link in the description of today's live stream, you're going to be getting a bonus of up to 1,600 USD free when you make your first deposit on Bybit, depending on how much you deposit. So you can make that deposit, take your money out straight away. You're going to keep that trading bonus. You can make profits on that money, and any profits you make, you can withdraw. If you are in the United States, you will need a VPN. I do it myself. Everyone I know who's in the US does it as well, but I can't endorse that, obviously. No issues I've ever seen, of course, but you know, you gotta do your own due diligence. And yeah, so this is the exchange I'm using. How high am my stop loss? Usually I will never take more than a 33% loss. That's too much for me. How do I think Bitcoin responds when there is a financial crisis? It responds pretty terribly. Oh, it's really funny. People always think that Bitcoin is going to really shine very bright in a financial crisis. And then the COVID crash happened. This was very funny. I mean, it's fucked up that it had to happen, don't get me wrong, but it was very, very funny when it did happen, because everyone was so positive that this market would be in a great place. And then this COVID crash happened and Bitcoin shit the bloody bed. It absolutely dropped like a stone, worse than everything else. And this is what happens in a real financial crisis. So Bitcoin is still a speculative asset. I don't care what your feelings say. I don't care how you feel about that statement. It's still a speculative asset because it drops like this in times of financial crisis, and it drops like this when one crazy billionaire puts out one tweet. You know, and I've shown you a chart for this, so you can't bloody deny it. The time of Elon Musk's tweet was right here, and look at the market crash. This is very, very obvious. Bitcoin dumped by nearly $10,000 just from that one tweet. Right here. Just from this one tweet from Elon Musk. You can pause the live stream. Big, big dump just from that one tweet. So it's still very much a speculative asset. Do I mine Bitcoin? No. Do I think buying some Doge around 30 cents is sensible? No. What's a good selling point for Ethereum in the short term? Now? Now is a good sell. It's hard to be in a loss on Ethereum right now. How do you think Bitcoin... I sold Ethereum yesterday, you know, so, you know, it's not that I'm bearish, but I'm definitely not bullish. Good time to accumulate more CHSB? Maybe, yeah. I think it's a good entry level for sure. I'm not buying more, but I think it's pretty good. Am I aware of any fundamental changes in the Bitcoin market? Nope. Coinbase has earnings today. Any potential catalysts in it? Probably, yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's super relevant. There's no hedge against financial crisis except shorting. I think that's a fairly fair statement, yeah. I have to agree with you there. Watch live stream from yesterday. He answered a lot of questions there. Thank you very much. Yes, I did. I didn't think one person could affect the market like that. I have a lot to learn. Yes, you do, Yorkshire Reaper. Absolutely. Yeah, one person can do that, and that's the nature of crypto right now. You know, this is why you have stop losses in place. This is why you have stop losses. Because, you know, something crazy and stupid can happen at any point, and you might have the best trade ever. You might do all your due diligence, and it would be 100% correct. But tomorrow an earthquake could hit China where they mine all the Bitcoin, and now what's going to happen? You know, now no Bitcoin is going to be mined, the whole network's going to be clogged up, everyone's going to be selling their shit. What are you going to do? You know what I mean? So, you don't really... Why does Elon have such a big sway over the market? It's because the market is predominantly emotional idiots, you know? So they respond in very extreme ways to very small stimuli. That's why. You know, so at the end of the day, like, it's not like this was super unlikely to happen. You know, we've seen this happen a million times. This is the thing I keep on warning about, and I get so much hate for it until it happens. And when it happens, they're just silent. The haters are just silent, which is fine, because if I was scared by the hate, I would have quit YouTube a long time ago. But you know, like, the point is, I say this a lot, you know, when my opinions are unpopular in this market, when I have the unpopular opinion and my viewers disagree with me, the dislikes are going up, you know, the comments are very, very angry at me, you know, who's interacting with a video in this way? Is it someone who's got deep pockets, or is it a retail trader, you know, 90% of which are usually wrong? You know what I mean? So it's things like that where, you know, if you didn't know that this was possible yet, look, you're probably part of the masses, but this is the market we're in. Not only is this super obvious to have happened, you know, it's going to keep on happening because this market is very emotional. You know, it's a lot of retail people who don't really have any real experience in these markets. So things like this will happen, and it will keep being shocked at every turn. We've seen this happen a lot, and I don't think it's going to stop. So hopefully you'll learn the lesson now. If not, it's going to happen again and you'll get fucked again. Maybe you'll learn the lesson next time. I don't really know, but the sooner you learn these lessons, the better. And of course, inside of the VIP group, you're seeing the culmination of me, hopefully, you know, having learned all of those lessons. I like to say that I have. I like to think that I have. It's going fairly well for me right now. And like I said, yesterday was a fun day for us inside of VIP. I mentioned to VIP members I was selling 50% of my long-term Ethereum holdings right before the big dump. Like I said, I told all VIP members that I would be looking to sell all or some of my Ethereum right here at this point in the market for Ethereum, and we take it back to this message. I decided to do this right before the dump, and then shortly afterwards I also ripped a quick 35% profit on Ethereum during the dump before closing the position early because the price action was just too dangerous. Then I told members I'd be lining up another Bitcoin short. I outlined that at the beginning of this live stream, so go back and rewind this and you can hear me talk about it. And then I ate a burger because I was that relaxed about the market. Everyone's panicking right now, but our precision and discipline means that we're the only people in the market right now that are still smiling. This is how you win. So if you do want to join VIP, see how these people have been able to pull these beautiful triple digit gains right here. Bam, first day in VIP, making $2,000. Bam, right here, very shortly after joining, making back this person's VIP some very, very impressive results right here. If you want to see how people have been able to pull this off, then you can follow these steps on screen with the discount that we're offering right now, and you can gain access to a beautiful, beautiful group. First link in the description, then the @4flies button at the bottom of any post inside of 4flies Gold, and then click on send message to ask me how to join, and I'll send you all the information. Let's see if there's any final questions that I haven't gone through already, and I will answer them now. Elizabeth Rigby, I've learned so much from you. Much appreciated. Well, thank you very much for letting me know. That's great. I'm glad you've learned a lot from this channel. Let's see what else we have here. What microphone am I using? This is a Blue Yeti. Do I think altcoins can cut off from Bitcoin to live their own life? Yes, most of them, some of them, the major ones are already doing that, like Cardano. Acute and accurate analysis, dude. Thanks for sharing. You're very welcome. Glad you enjoyed it. Is it true Binance is under investigation? I don't know, but it's not surprising. Do I know of any DEX mobile apps? Nope. Is XRP a good project? Nope. What do you think? What do you expect from altcoins in general? I tuned in late. If you tuned in late, please rewind. In general, I think altcoins will drop if Bitcoin is dropping, but a few exceptions are definitely there. And I think that's it. So if you've enjoyed this one final time, hit up the likes, subscribe, do all that good stuff. These steps on screen will take you into VIP. Bybit in the description if you want that $1,600 bonus. And I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you all for tuning in. Bye-bye.